No one will outwork me. No one. I love and I respect you guys. You motherfuckers won't outwork me. Really, the two things I want to say are, you gotta be the hardest workers in the room. And don't fuck the opportunity up. The first thing I just want to say is, this idea and this notion that you could be anything you want, you can accomplish anything you want, right? We hear that. You've heard that from the time you were little boys. You hear that now. You're already incredibly accomplished. You can win an NBA championship, MVP of the league. You could become president. You could become governor. You could be in entertainment. You could do Charles, or you could do Shaq. You could do that. You could do whatever you want to do. You guys know that. The thing that has worked for me is to remember the hard times. So, and I'm sure you guys all have your processes, and again, I'm going to tell you what worked for me. So before a big movie comes out, before, back in the days when I was wrestling with WWE, a WrestleMania match, anything big that would happen, I would always take a moment and I'd just remind myself, all right, I was evicted when I was 14. We were kicked off the island. We couldn't live in Hawaii. Had no place to live. A lot of shit happened then when I moved to Nashville. I was arrested multiple times by the time I was 16 years old. Like, I remember that. But before I lace up, before I get into court, before I play in these big games, before I go to the Staples Center, where history is there, those are historic walls there at the Staples Center. I would remember that, and it allows me then to be present in the moment and understand, holy shit, the stuff I have around me right now, this is the shit that I dreamed of when I was a kid. I am here. When I got cut from Canada, I had $7 in my pocket. And I always tell that story. So now my production company is $7, advertising agency is $7, everything is $7. So I always remember that. What helps me is to keep the hard times in the front of my mind, because it allows me to go into these big moments that I've worked my ass off, and you guys have worked your ass off. It allows me to go into these big moments with a different perspective. I keep my back, excuse my language, my back is up against this motherfucker. Every day, it's against this fucking wall. But it's up against this motherfucker because it's what I believe in. And when my back is against this motherfucker, then there's nowhere to go. But that way. That's it. Now, doesn't mean you don't smile, doesn't mean you don't laugh and joke, right? You're happy, I'm a happy guy. But when it comes to business, and when it comes to executing, it's up against this. And I gotta go that way. And I don't give a fuck who is in front of me. They're not gonna stop me. The anchor for me has always been the work in terms of the weight room training. So when I first started wrestling, I was 6 years old, rolling on the mats with my dad. My old man, a lot of you guys will know this. Yeah, Rocky Johnson. My old man was Rocky Johnson. He was the first black WWF at that time. First black WWE tag team champions with Tony Atlas back in 1983. My uncles were Wild Samoans. I come from a long line of pro wrestlers. But before the wrestling part happened, I was just in the gym putting in the work. At 6 years old, rolling around on the mats. And finally, when I could touch weights at 13, that's what I was doing. But the weight part for me and the gym part has always been, has to be the anchor for me, because again, it allows me to keep everything grounded. Look, boys, your body's your body, right? You're young now, you're balling, everything feels good. You have your little nicks and dings and all that shit. You're gonna have that, you're gonna have your surgery. We all have it. But eventually, and I promise you this, the one thing that will never, ever, ever go away is you get your ass in that weight room and you put in the work. That's gonna happen when you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. That never goes away. You get on the court, you shoot some shots, but you're gonna wind up right back in the weight room, right? Right back in your spot. You know, and the thing that the WWE taught me, which I think you guys can take away and it can apply to a little bit of your practice and your business and your gameplay, is WWE taught me to always listen to the people. You always want to listen to the people. So when I would go out, you know, look, you go out, there's always a lot of ego, and you know, I want to do my shit, and then another wrestler will say, oh, I want to do my shit, I want to do my finishing move, I want to do my finishing move. I got to look at the end of the day, like again, it's the kind of stuff that I talked about at top, is I have to hold on to my dad in his pickup truck, came down 4 o'clock in the morning, picked me up at in Miami from Tampa. We lived in a little shitty apartment in Tampa. He drove down in his little pickup truck to Miami to get me when I was cut from the CFL. I leave home like you guys left home. I'm ready to tackle the world, to get after it, achieve my dreams and goals. Fucking crushed by 22, 23 years old. Now I gotta move back in with my mom and dad. I played on great teams though. Wait a second, this is not supposed to be my future. I'm supposed to be in the NFL right now. I'm supposed to be making a lot of coin and buying my parents shit, buying me shit, taking care of my wife, but it never happened. So I pulled out my wallet, I thought, well, let me see how much money I had. I opened it up, I had a 5, a 1, and change. I'm not fucking around, and well, at least I rounded up to $7. But I thought, God, ain't this a bitch? I got $7 in my pocket. Where the fuck do I go now? What do I do? I can't go back to CFL, because you know, the point comes where you hear that voice, big run's over. Like, you're done, right? So I heard that voice. So as Coach was saying, man, I hold on to that shit, I'm telling you. I keep my back is up against this motherfucker. At some point, you gotta be fucking tired of not being number one. You have to be, and you gotta fucking play angry. And I play angry. As you guys know, there's nothing you can't accomplish. You're gonna go on, you're gonna become world champions. The key for me, well, I think one of the keys is, remember where you came from, keep that shit in the front of your mind, and when shit goes bad, it goes sideways, a lot of shit does, you're getting booed out of the fucking building, or you're coming through this injury, or people are writing you off, oh, you guys ain't gonna fucking make it, you know, any of that shit. You gotta keep it in here. And it really has to, it should drive you, it should. It works for me, it should drive you. You get all the talent in the world, it's all here. It's all here, everybody's the next best thing. Everybody's the thing, everybody's the best. It's all here. But goddamn, I wanna do it better. I'd wanna do it better. How that is, because they even said to me, well, how do you do it better than him? This was in 2006. I said, I don't know, but I do believe there's a better way to do it and a different way to do it. I believe anything is possible, right? I live in the world of possibility, and I also believe that we can accomplish anything with our two hands and just putting in the work with our two hands. And also, you hear this often, but it's really, really true. You gotta find something, if you love what you do and be passionate about what you do and find something that you can be passionate like, it really helps. You know, it gives you that motivation when you wake up in the morning. When I was at the height of my career in the WWE, I felt that for the very first time that I was close to accomplishing everything that I wanted to accomplish in wrestling. And I quietly walked away. Kind of shook me a little bit because wrestling was all I knew at that time, and I had dabbled in acting, but yet I also felt that I wanted to do more, and I wanted to achieve more, and I wanted to grow. I wanted to grow as a person, I wanted to grow as an entertainer, and that I wanted to reach as many people as possible. Not for the box office value of it, but for the connection. And I had come from a world where I was connecting with an audience every night, and I wanted that connection. And I wanted to not only be good as an actor, but if I made the transition into acting, I wanted to be great. I knew going in, the cards are stacked against me. There's a shelf life to a career if I just wanted to get by on popularity. I didn't want to be in that position. I wanted longevity. If that's the goal, then I have to do everything I could possibly do to know the business of Hollywood from top to bottom, from acting to marketing to an executive level to a producing level to a directing level, and just know it as a whole. That would inherently make me a greater asset. And I appreciate all the people in the beginning of my career as I was coming up who took the time, who took the effort, who took me in, because I had to educate myself and I had to be a student of the game. Know your business. Know your business and become a student of the game, and surround yourself with brilliant people. I found that with depression, one of the most important things you could realize is that you're not alone. You're not the first to go through it. You're not gonna be the last to go through it. And oftentimes it happens. You feel like you're alone, and you feel like it's only you, and you're in your bubble, and I wish I had someone at that time who could just pull me aside and, hey, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I wish I knew that. Just gotta remember. Hold on to that fundamental quality of faith. Have faith. And on the other side of your pain is something good.